ask you a question. What if success isn't the goal? What if the real prize in life is something deeper, something more powerful, something called purpose? We are taught to chase grades, to chase trophies, to chase likes or money. But what if none of that matters when we do not know why we are doing it? Hello, everyone. You're welcome to another episode of Flashes of Dynamic Youth Thoughts from the stable of SIPC Global Youth of Salvation International Prayer Christian Church. I am your host for today, Clara, and today I'll be admonishing you on the topic the pursuit of purpose. Now, what is purpose? Purpose is not a job, purpose is not a title, it is not a perfect plan. Instead, purpose is your why. It is what makes you wake up with fire, it is what keeps you going, it is what pushes you to keep going, even when things get hard. That is what purpose is. It's not something you can figure out once. It's normal and it's okay. But one thing you need to know is that you need to start asking yourself these questions, and these questions are: what moves you, what breaks your heart, or what are the things you love doing that you don't even care whether you get paid for doing it. That is what your purpose is. Now, purpose isn't something you find, it is something you build through your pain, through your passion, and through your choices. Now, I want to give you two examples of people that actually discovered their purpose and they pursued it. Now, I will first start with Trevor Noah. I'm sure we all know him, at least if not everyone, but at least a decent amount of people know who Trevor Noah is. Trevor Noah is a South African comedian who has gone worldwide for the comedies and the things he talks about through his comedy. One thing I noticed about Trevor Noah was that he was born in the apartheid South Africa, where his identity was not identified. And through this, and through what he experienced during that moment, during that time, he uses comedy. Sorry, he uses comedy to to create awareness about social issues, about what is going on in the society. That's why most times, yes, we will laugh at his jokes, we will laugh at whatever he says. But if you look deep into what he says, you will notice that it's actually creating awareness for social issues in the society. So the next person I would love to talk about is William Kamkwaba. I'm sorry if I didn't really pronounce his name very well, but he is from Malawi, and we know him as the boy who unearthed the wind. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. This man is a man now, but at the age of 14, he was the one that created windmills from junks, from scraps in his home. So what was his purpose? His purpose was innovation for survival. This was a boy who couldn't go back to school, or who couldn't go to school because his parents couldn't afford it. But instead of lazing around, he developed the love for books. And when he started reading books, he noticed that he actually has love for electronics. And he just said, okay, let me create this windmill out of the scraps, out of the spoiled electronic appliances in his home. And that was what brought about this great change in his life. This is what purpose looks like. It grows from what you care about, it grows from what you love. That is what purpose is. Now, how do we find it? I'm sure that a lot of us, we are like, how do I discover my purpose? How do I know what my purpose is here on earth? Now, I want you all to know that when you were born with a seed of purpose inside you. So we all have that seed of purpose inside of us. All we need to do is to water it. We need to try new things, reflect, serve, and create. We need to start asking ourselves different questions like, what do I love? Who do I want to help? What do I want to change? What are the things I want to change here in this world? That is what's going to fuel our purpose. I want us to know that we won't get the full picture right away. We won't get full clarity right away, because purpose is discovered in pursuit and not in comfort. Okay, it is not about scrolling, but it is about trying. Try, you fail, you learn, and then you try again. That is what purpose is all about. So I want us to know that our purpose comes from our pain, like I said earlier. It comes from our passion, and it comes from our choice. It is not something that we build, it's not something that we find, but it is something that we build. I want to leave you with this. You were not born to just exist, you were born to make impact. So I want you to discover your purpose so that your life will be one that no one else can copy. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and I hope you learned one or two things from today's episode. And I hope you are able to take what I have taught you today or what I've admonished you on today, and I hope you'll be able to apply it to your daily lives. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms at SIPCC Global Youth and SIPCC Global. And also shout out to View Radio for partnering with us on today's episode. And also do not forget to follow them on all their social media platforms and on Facebook at View Radio Media. I remain your host, Clara Jegede. See you next time. Bye.